So 2018 summer vacation, 6 students from Ashok Hall, including myself, have been selected for being sent to a fest in Ranikhet, in one of the residential schools in Ranikhet, Uttarakhand. And all the expenses are very graciously being borne by the school. And all we had to do was perform well. Sounds easy, right? And our school has entrusted us with having fun in 8 events, back to back. It included dance, Eastern, Western, 2 out here, and then music, Eastern, Western, debate, drama, paper presentation, and we were sort of overwhelmed by it because we remember seeing that students from all over India had been invited to take part in it. And they were, each of them was super talented. We did hold our own. We did all right in the dance and the music competition, even though 3 of us had never danced, 3 of us had never sung, not on the stage at least. What we were worried about was the drama competition, because we had not written the script. We had not written the script, and the content was a bit absurd. And mind you, it was not the good kind. It was bizarre, at times fatphobic, and we had 0 faith in it. And now, how can you perform well in a play with a script that you don't even believe in? So, the night before the performance, we decide to rage against the dying of the light and write an entirely new script from scratch. We brainstormed, we wrote everything, we memorized our lines, and by the end of the night, we were so worn out that we were sleepy, and yet we did see a very big hint of ecstasy in each one of our eyes. The ecstasy of having created something together, of having created something new, something that mattered to us, something that moved us from within before anybody else. And thank God we did. Now, what happened in the play is something that I'll tell you about a bit later, but first let me walk you through the fiasco that preceded it. There was the debate that was supposed to take place in the following morning, and I was supposed to speak for the motion. Now, the motion was something along the following lines, that crimes against women in India is bringing down the country's image before the entire world, something of this sort, right? And I'm speaking for the motion. How difficult can it be to convince the House that, of course, it is bringing down India's image before the world, right? So, one thing you should know about me is that I'm not a very good impromptu speaker. Okay, if it is about some speaking, somewhere serious, somewhere formal, I have to mug it up. The boon of Indian education system, right? So I had prepared early on, and I had memorized everything a month ahead of the competition, but the sleeplessness and the beautiful adrenaline rush of the previous night had gotten into me, and I forgot to revise my speech, right? So I begin well. 2 of my friends are sitting in the audience. They are clapping, encouraging, and it's going all great, yeah? But a minute into it, I start dozing off at the podium, and I forget what the motion is. And I am bending and craning my head to check out the motion that was written on the moderator's table in big letters. But Even God couldn't help me, and I couldn't keep my eyes open, I couldn't read what was written, and nothing could save it. I see my friends leaving surreptitiously, and I end my ordeal 3 minutes before it was time, and go back to my seat. There was pin drop silence in the hall. Nobody said anything. Nobody could believe somebody had spoken that bad. But you know what I did? I just went back and started going through the monologue once again. Because that was the only thing that mattered back then. And we didn't waste a single second. We got into our costumes, we started performing, and we were praying that we do well, because God forbid, nobody back home, none of the teachers, they knew what we were doing, what we were up to, that we had changed the entire play. And to be honest, it wasn't even a gamble, because, oh boy, did we perform. It was glorious. I felt every ounce of fatigue leave my body. I was soaring. The entire team was soaring. And in fact, towards the end, when the monologue started to take pace and it started to reach the climax, people started standing up and applauding. It was beautiful. And amidst everything, people forgot about the debate. So I come back home, the entire team comes home, word gets around, teachers tell us, you have got to perform what you did there. And we perform it, teachers like it, and we actually end up performing it again, right here in an inter-school drama competition, and we end up winning it. It's sort of a full circle, to come here and tell you all about it. So, well, my point is, there are 2 lessons that we got to learn that day from this entire thing. First is, never go on stage if you are sleep deprived, unless you are a seasoned speaker. Second one is that if you believe in something, if there is something that you think can get you somewhere, even if the world tells you that you ought not to do it, you commit yourself to it. Now, my teachers, friends, and family, they were suggesting several topics, what to talk about, what not to talk about. They suggested, I talk about music, because I've been doing it for a very long time. My parents, they loved music, and to their relief, I was not born tone deaf, and they got me to taking singing lessons. And I started learning Indian classical, right? So my teacher, she taught us sargams, all right? And she told us that nothing musical can lie beyond the range of sa re ga ma pa da ni sa, right? So everything falls within this. And there is no song that can be a mystery to you if you can just decode the notes. She had this exercise where she would give us a song, and we would have to sing it, not with the lyrics, but with the notes, right? So, do you guys know Hey Jude? So, Hey Jude goes like, Hey Jude, don't make it bad, take a sad song and make it better, right? So, what she asked us to do is, sing it like this. Pa ga ga pa tha re, re ga ma sa, sa ni pa tha pa ma ga. And she taught us to do it instantaneously with any song. And it felt like an entire world opened up to me. It was a sort of a wizardry. I am not much of a singer anymore. What has come to define me is my ability to play the violin, and I was sort of wondering what it is really that got me into it. How has it become so indispensable to my to my being, you know. So when I was really young, I saw a group of men playing the violin on the TV, and it looked so gorgeous, you know, such a beautiful instrument, and it's producing such a beautiful sound. I told my parents I want to play it. And they thought it's just a whim, you know, let it pass, let her sing. But I nagged, and I nagged on for a year. Please let me play, please let me play, please let me play. And they finally got me. No, they didn't get me a violin, sorry, my bad. They actually, my father, he contacted one of his friends. His name was Mr. Anthony Shom. He used to be a violinist. He used to play in one of the hotels in Calcutta. He used to play in Taj, and he came by with one of his spare small violins. He sort of taught me to hold the violin the first day. So you have to be able to do this first in order to even begin playing. So the first 1 month, I just did this. No fun. Sad. Now, however, when he started finally to teach me notes, and I sort of felt this surge of emotions within me, this ecstasy that was, you know, retrospectively speaking, that was very similar to the feeling that we all had when we were writing the script. But the thing with kids is, they lose interest very quickly, right? They lose interest very quickly, and so did I when the excitement of learning something new wore off. I avoided practicing it because, you know, I was learning Western classical, and the notations that we had to follow, it began from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 7 letters, right? It confused me. It didn't fall into the pattern of sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa, and I completely sort of rejected it. I found ways of dodging classes. In fact, once again, memorization came to my aid. I started mugging up the melodies and, you know, sort of stopped reading the notations altogether when I had the classes. However, my parents, being the kind of Indian parents we usually have, they sort of found out about it and gave me one tight one, you know. And then one day I got a very bad scolding, and I was tinkering away with my instrument, and, you know, something, a very familiar tune sort of emerged out of the instrument, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. What is happening? Because, you know, why Western classical never appealed to me is because I grew up listening to old Hindi classics. R.D. Burman, Madan Mohan, Ilayaraja, all of these songs, they paled in front of the beginner level pieces that I was learning before I discovered Michael Jackson, of course. But, you know, this one day I'm just fiddling with the violin, and this familiar tune emerged. My favorite song was Kahin Dur Jab Din Dhal Jaye, and suddenly I hear this melody coming out. And I was like, what is this? What is this melody? You know, it was something very familiar. And I realized if I applied the lessons from my Indian classical lessons, I can play actually any Hindi song that I want to play on the violin, and I don't need to read any of the notations, you know. And voila, once again, the ecstasy is back. As I started growing up, I started realizing that excitement is not the key element that can help you sustain a passion for a very long time. I started losing interest. I started feeling like I'm not good enough, and I ought to give it up. My parents, being my parents, they were like, stick to it no matter what happens. And 2013, change of scene, we shift to Sikkim. And there was this newfound sense of freedom that I experienced there. And I was admitted into this music school where which sort of took place within a church. And one thing about churches is that the echo there is really good. It can make anything sound really good. And I started liking the tone of my violin once again. And I thought that I missed it, right? For 1 year, I didn't play, but when I resumed playing the violin, it didn't really ditch me. It also stuck with me. So I never stopped playing since then. In fact, I earned a good chunk of my living by teaching it. And I have not stopped taking my lessons either, because there is so much to learn and there is so much joy in it, right? My point is, you ought to find that thing that moves you, right? That you believe in. You will never find any stasis when you are discovering something that you love. And you shouldn't even have to look for any stasis. It is the movement that you should learn to be with. There is no easy way around. It will require a great deal of trial and error. But whatever it is, football, academics, music, dancing, cooking, anything at all, there will be something in your life that will give you such pure joy that you will not be able to help doing it, right? And it is very important that once you find it, you hold on to it, you listen to it. And well, I'll just read out a letter to you. It's a very short one. It was written to me by Mrs. Season. She was our class teacher when we were in 12th standard. And there was this ritual back then that on the last day of school, you take a notebook with you and you ask your friends and your teachers to write a note for you. So I did the same. I went to Mrs. Season. Now, Season, miss, she had this unmatched sense of wit, humor, and empathy. She was very kind, and above all, she was a very keen observer. She had 60 students in her class, 12F, huge class. And yet, she used to be a history teacher, and she had only 5 history students, yet she really knew each one of us. In many ways, she really saved me, and it is because of her that I am here. So she wrote to me, "Dearest Ranjana, you are a rare species, blessed with innocence and a good soul. Life will be difficult for you, undoubtedly. It is. It is always so for those who are rare. Imagine a dinosaur surviving in today's world. Poor fellow. But you know what? Dinosaurs are everyone's favorite. So are you. Stay the same. Fight to remain the same. And wherever and whenever you feel down and worn out, may your music heal you." Which brings us to my concern for the past 1 week. What is it that I might have to say to you? You, all of whom are bubbling with life, who have so much to do and so much to give to the world, what can I possibly have to say to you? I hope to arrive at a much more profound answer, but I didn't, and I realized that I don't need to. It is just this. Find something that moves you, listen to it, let it shape you, and submit to it completely. Thank you.